guys doing? And welcome to another edition of Better Sports News. I'm George O with my man Jeff Chappie Chapman.
How you doing, Georgie?
And here's a fun fact. Fun Facts with Phoenix has been frequently viewed in this program until the following Friday, okay? Because she's not here.
Fantastic.
But we've got a great show for you, and nothing has been greater than last weekend when finally, after a wait since 1978, 37 years have gone by, and we finally have a Triple Crown winner that you predicted early on.
I think January or February might have been the time when I predicted that. I'm not going to toot my own horn. Well, actually, I am.
You
should. I did call that early. Now, we knew Bob Baffert was all over this horse early. He said that might have been his superstar early in the year. And I'll tell you what, the atmosphere here was unbelievable. The place was going crazy. I would have loved to have been at Belmont for that, George. History in the making. And you know, American Pharoah's coming back here, I think on the 18th of next month or something like that, Georgie. He's on his way. So, George, we're going to have to make our way back there and get a picture with ourselves, maybe for the show here, but something for the record books to have us with American Pharoah.
Right. You'll be able to take home some wonderful memorabilia because on Saturday, here at Santa Anita, we're going to be giving away a poster of American Pharoah, the Triple Crown winner. The gift shop is just stacked full of T-shirts and hats. So it's if you want any of your American Pharoah stuff, we got it right here. We got the poster for free, and you can get great stuff at the gift shop. So definitely come out to Santa Anita. And it was just fantastic. When I saw the race, literally, I mean, a warm feeling just fell all over me. When he won, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm witnessing history. It was so exciting.
Chills up and down the spine. And I'll tell you what, you could tell early on when he got that comfortable lead. He's got that high cruising style. When he got the lead on the first turn, I was never in doubt that he was going to win that race, George. And it was just electrifying. I'll tell you what, the crowd going crazy, you and I going bananas. It was something we'll never forget.
And I think it really put the spotlight on horse racing because now Victor Spinoza, Bob Baffert, every show that I look at, they're on. It's fantastic. It's just wonderful to see horse racing beginning to thrive again because of this superstar American Pharoah.
And let's hope we keep some momentum, and let's hope American Pharoah. Rumor has it, Georgie, they're going to parade him around on the 27th for the Gold Cup here at Santa Anita.
Wow.
So that hasn't been announced yet, but just remember that, folks. It sounds like we're going to get to see him, and hopefully down the line, before the Breeders' Cup, we'll get to see him race live here. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
All right, congratulations to Bob Baffert, Victor Spinoza, all the connections of American Pharoah. You did us proud here, and we're very happy that you guys won. Another exciting thing that's going on is NBA. The NBA basketball, the NFL, the NBA finals are in full swing. Some very, very exciting games, no?
I'll tell you what, George, I got to give props to you on this one. Now, it's not over yet.
No.
I predicted Golden State. You picked Cleveland. You know, we've always said before, the old adage is you kind of have to be there.
Right.
And it looks like occasionally they look like deer in the headlights, the Golden State Warriors. The stage might be a little big for them. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Game 4 coming up here while we're taping this in the next 20 minutes or so. Pivotal game here. Pivotal game.
Yeah, I think if Golden State has any chance of winning, they must win this game tonight. And I think that they're going to be desperate tonight because if they're not, then they're gone. They're like, you go, I'm chucking them. They're out of here. I think that just LeBron James, he's been there before. He's leading that team. And with the surrounding cast, I think it's one of the greatest achievements in the NBA if they happen to pull this off. Now, Dellavedova is coming out of the hospital with cramps. Also, LeBron looks a little tired in his interviews. They may be spent. You never know. And in the final quarter, Curry did get hot.
He did get hot. Finally, he found his stroke, and they were down 18 to start the fourth quarter. They cut it to 1 with a couple minutes to go. LeBron seems to be putting this entire team on his shoulders, like you said. It will be interesting. Fatigue might come into play at some point because the Cavaliers are so short. They're playing so many big minutes.
Yeah.
LeBron has got to get worn out at some point. And if they do pull it out, like you said, got to be one of the greatest achievements in sports history, the way this guy's putting him on their back. I don't want to compare him to Jordan because you know how much I love Jordan, but this is Jordan-esque so far.
It's Jordan-esque because of the supporting cast. I mean, who would have thought that we'd be talking about Matthew Dellavedova? I mean, how does that? He's the second best player on the team. He's this wingman. And he's playing out of his mind. He's just gritty guy, and they're playing really well. You know what else I've noticed? I'm not a big baseball fan, but I do watch baseball, and it seems to me that they got all kinds of great prospects in baseball. All these young guys that are just popping up this year and that are great. Is it my imagination, or the prospects this year phenomenal?
No, it's unbelievable. Of course, we've talked a lot about Mike Trout, one of the great superstars, great for the game with the Angels.
Oh.
There goes your phone telling us another superstar just got called up from AAA. No, but Chris Bryant for the Cubs, he's another young kid that's coming up. And these guys they're personable, they're good for the game, they're clean, that clean cut image where we kind of gotten out of the steroid thing with the Sosas and all that. And baseball's kind of finding its way back. And there's a lot of 21, 22-year-olds that are just amazing. Jock Peters for the Dodgers here, a local boy. Baseball seems to be on the up climb, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of young kids that are going to take this game into the next century.
Well, there's a rookie this week that not as young as you might think. He's 27 years old, Henson, who pitched a no-hitter despite the fact that he didn't throw one ball over 92 miles an hour. What happened there?
Talking about location. I'll tell you what, that was kind of Greg Maddux-esque when you don't have that overpowering fastball, which everybody seems to have. Back in our day, if you had one guy that threw 95 miles an hour, it was unbelievable. Now every other guy throws 98 like nothing. This guy paints. I watched the last 3 innings of that game. He was just spot on with his control. He mixed his pitches up really well. And anytime you see a no-hitter, I would love to see a no-hitter one time in person, George.
Wow.
It's amazing feat.
He's a Rembrandt, like they said, because he paints the corners, right? He struck out the side of the ninth, so way in the ninth where you figured he's a little tired, struck out the side for the no-hitter. I thought it was pretty impressive.
Congratulations to him. That's an amazing accomplishment, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, no, very amazing. Amazing that Tampa Bay didn't score in the hockey game to make it 2-2. How many chances did they get?
I'll tell you what, it seems like I didn't watch the entire game. Every time I turned it on, Tampa Bay was dominating that game. That goes to show you in hockey that if you get a hot goaltender, they always say if the goaltender stands on his head, that means he's playing out of his mind, and that's what the the Blackhawks goalie seem to be doing. And goaltending, they can completely take a game over, and at the end of that game, that flurry, the last 2 minutes, just point blank, but they couldn't get it in the net.
I saw it was crazy. I'm a little older than you, but there's a gentleman that I used to love growing up as a kid. I saw him live a couple of times in New York City. His name is Dusty Rhodes. Do you remember Dusty Rhodes at all? Or no?
Wrestler, I believe.
Yeah.
That's about all
Dusty
I know.
Rhodes. He had the bionic elbow. He was great. He just passed away. I saw him twice in person. He was just larger than life because I was like a teenager, and he was just wonderful. He just passed away, so rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes. Here at Santa Anita, we have so many great things going on. And the final week, I want to talk about the final week for just a second. The final weekend, we've got a big contest. And I think that handicapping contests are the wave of the future. And there's some big contests going on that weekend. Right here at Santa Anita, you could buy in for $5,000. They're going to have BC entries. They're going to have NHC entries. It's going to be a big money tournament. Santa Anita, I talked to the vice president here, Nate Newby. He says they're actually going to put in some added money, so more benefit to come out. It's Saturday and Sunday, the final 2 days, the 27th and the 28th, so definitely come out for that. Also on the 28th, there's an online contest with one of our sponsors on the show, hpqualify.com. It's the biggest online contest in the history of horse racing, so you definitely want to be a part of it. There's feeders that you can get in for as little as $69 leading up to it. So go to hpqualify.com, and on the 28th, they're going to have $215,000 in cash and prizes. It's the biggest contest ever online. hpqualify.com, and we possibly might be streaming it live from Santa Anita. So it's going to be a historic weekend for contests between the Santa Anita contest and the HP Qualify contest. So it's going to be a big weekend, final weekend here before it heads over to Del Mar. But now it's time for us to head over for the Pick 5 Saturday. You ready?
I'm ready, George. Of course. This is our favorite segment every week.
All right. I love this segment. I always got to put my glasses on for this one. And the Pick 5, it starts. I love the Pick 5 this weekend. It starts, and you really like it as well, right?
Love it. Best bet in racing. The takeout is wonderful. George, you've been hot on this Pick 5.
Right.
I believe, did you hit it last week,
Yeah,
George?
yeah. So, I mean, we're doing good. All right. Here's my pick. It's $72. It starts in race 1, and I'm singling right off the bat. One of my favorite trainers is Dan Blacker, young man. He's married, of course, to Christina
Olivares. Now Blacker.
Now Blacker, right? Christina Blacker. And he's a wonderful trainer. He's doing a great job. This horse seems to run great off layoffs. He's got a big layoff from July of 2014, but he's the goods. He's got great figures, and I like number 1, Wonderful Lie, as a single in my pick 5 in race 1.
Very gutsy single, George. I'm actually too deep myself. I did use Wonderful Lie. Of course, running second last time to Go West Marie, who's a great filly in the Eddie Truman barn. I'm actually 1-6. I had to use thermodynamics. The horse seems to be really good. I think it's a 2-horse race. I'm going to go bookends 1 and 6 here to start. You're singling. I'm going to double up on you here, too deep.
All right. Race number 2 is a maiden claiming race, going 6 furlongs. Bottom barrel maidens, 20,000 claiming. Really, some of the horses that I like, I used to hate before. They were just terrible horses. It doesn't seem to be anybody that really sticks out to me. So I'm using the Chappie button. I'm using everybody. It's 8 horses. I'm using them all.
Great minds think alike, Georgie, because I'm going to hit the Chappie button as well. Top to bottom, I have no idea. The longest shot on the board here is 8-1. Let's hit the Chappie button. Hopefully one time here, we get a 15-1 shot or something, and we'll be 2 for 2 moving on.
All right. The third race, I'm singling as well. A horse that I've made a ton of money on. Excuse me, over and over. Number 1, Salsita. I love Salsita. His trainer, Ricky Aguirre, is killing it. He's just crushing it. He's winner after winner after winner. He's doing so good. I really respect this guy. His barn is growing because he's just very successful. This horse was overmatched in the Misdirection, overmatched in the La Cienegas, a grade 3, but he got him for 12-5, moved him up, he won. He really competed decently against those really tough races with Bird Lover, Home Journey, Go West Marie, who you just talked about. So now he's coming back with his friends. I really, really like him a lot. He's 5-1, an aggressive single. I like Salsita a lot, and I'm singling him in my pick 5.
You got so excited, you almost choked there, George.
I know.
I'm actually 5 deep here. Salsita would be my top pick. That's for our boy Kenji.
Oh, Kenji, I love Kenji.
And Kenji's been winning some races. You're right, the young trainer getting hot in the right spot here. And I love your aggressive single 5-1. That's the way to do it if you really want to hit something big. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I think that we've got a few horses that are kind of the same type of horse here. Right. So I am going to go 5 deep. I would take your 1 as my top pick here, but I couldn't single here. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, he's certainly somebody that I'm going to be playing to win as well, because he'll probably be a decent price, and I think he's going to run well. And another reason I'm singling him is because I just can't figure out race 4. It's another one of these 2-year-old races going really short, 5 furlongs. The ones that have run really haven't impressed me. The ones that haven't run, it could be any kind. You never know. It's a really tough race. Chappie button for me. I have everybody.
Wow. I love it. 2 Chappie buttons for Georgia here. I'm actually only 3 deep here, George. I'm going to use the rail. Diodoro is unbelievable. That horse barely lost the first time out. Diodoro, unbelievable second time out, 23%, excuse me. I'm going to use the 2, the Bondi horse who got bet a little bit in his debut. Blinkers on. Bondi's good second time out. Carlos Dangerous. I love the name.
Ooh, Carlos
and then I'm
Dangerous.
actually going to go with the 8 horse here. These Square Eddies have been running great. This horse, another horse that ran decently, but from the inside, I know the horse was well meant. So I'm actually 1, 2, 8. Sirens are going off here, folks, because we're so excited. I'm 3 deep. You're hitting the Chappie button. What are you doing in the last leg?
All right, it's the Shoemaker Mile. It's a grade 1. Some fantastic, fantastic horses in this race. Horses that I've bet before, and horses that I absolutely hate, because when I bet him, didn't win. When I don't bet him, wins. And that's Talco, which I just hate the guy. I told you, I'm never betting him again. I'm not using him in my tickets.
So you used him?
No, I didn't. I hate him. I'm not betting him again. He can win the rest of his life. I'm not going to win. I'm using only 2 horses. I'm using Midnight Storm, who's undefeated on the grass. His last race, just spectacular. He blew away a really good field by 7.5. He's definitely one of my horses. And then the horse that came here from Brazil, who really impressed first time out, Bala Bali, Richard Mandela, just a wonderful, wonderful performance his first time out. You got to use him. Really, it's a tough race. Most everybody can win, but I'm narrowing it down to Midnight Storm, who's undefeated, and Bal Albali, who's undefeated here in the United States.
Well, Georgie, if I could go too deep, I would, but I'm already $120 in, so I'm going to single Bal Albali. We were so impressed by that last race here. That was almost a year layoff. The horse is 12 for 13, won the Brazilian Triple Crown.
Right.
And I just thought that was an ultra impressive race last time out, so I'm going to single the 5. Midnight Storm, obviously the horse to beat ever since it went in the barn of Phil D'Amato. 3 starts on the turf. The last one was ultra impressive. It drew off like nothing.
Ooh,
that
wow.
horse could be any kind. Of course, our nemesis Talco, who both of us have burned more money than you can imagine. That horse will probably draw off and beat us both because we haven't used it. And even Winning Prize is a classy horse.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a tough 5-pack here. And you could almost hit the Chappie button, but, our ticket would be way too much here. But I'm going to single Bal Albali. I think this horse can be any kind. $120 for me. Time for me to hit it.
Hit it, Chappie. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the show. Sorry about all the craziness, man. We had phones ringing. We had, it was crazy.
A lot of control tonight.
But we had a great time. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you here next week. Hopefully, Fenix will be back. Thanks for watching Better Sports News.